Now we begin in the United States, where Joe Biden is hours away from becoming the 46th president. He'll lead a country devastated by an unprecedented health and economic crisis. But in the final hours of his presidency, outgoing President Donald Trump has issued more than 140 pardons and commutations. They include former aide Steve Bannon, along with rappers Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, and a former mayor of Detroit. Well, earlier he delivered his farewell speech to the nation, outlining his legacy.
We restored American strength at home and American leadership abroad. The world respects us again. We built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We revitalized our alliances and rallied the nations of the world to stand up to China like never before. As a result of our bold diplomacy and principled realism, we achieved a series of historic peace deals in the Middle East. Nobody believed it could happen. It is the dawn of a new Middle East, and we are bringing our soldiers home. I am especially proud to be the first president in decades who has started no new wars.
On the night before they take office, Biden and Vice President-elect Kamala Harris paid tribute to more than 400,000 Americans who've died of COVID-19. Biden says containing the pandemic is his #1 priority.
To heal, we must remember. It's hard sometimes to remember, but that's how we heal. It's important to do that as a nation. That's why we're here today. Between sundown and dusk, let us shine the lights in the darkness along the sacred pool of reflection. Remember all whom we lost.
And it will be an inauguration ceremony like none in recent memory. Downtown Washington, D.C. is virtually a fortress right now. More than 20,000 National Guard troops have been deployed there following this month's attack on the Capitol and threats of more violence. Let's go live to Natasha Rounaim now from Washington, D.C. Natasha, you can't help but notice that this list of pardons and commutations came out really in the 11th hour, right?
Absolutely. It's not a surprise that this final spate of pardons by President Trump includes allies and friends. He would not be the first president to do that, but he has been criticized already for the number of people that fell into that category. Most notable of these pardons is former White House advisor and Breitbart editor Steve Bannon. This was supposed to be the one decision that President Trump vacillated. There were allies making an appeal, and even Steve Bannon is said to have picked up the phone and had a conversation with Trump on Tuesday. But there were also detractors. In the end, President Trump opted to pardon this former White House advisor and ally of his. He hadn't even been convicted of anything. Bannon had been charged, though, last year with defrauding supporters who donated to a private fund to help build the U.S.-Mexico border wall. That was, of course, a very big pet project of President Trump. Another notable person who is granted clemency is billionaire Elliot Brody. He got embroiled in a foreign lobbying case, and he pled guilty last year. He was a very prolific fundraiser for President Trump and the Republican National Committee. He was set to, after pleading guilty, he was set to be sentenced next month. And then there are others that might be of a surprise to some. They're certainly not household names. Two young rappers, Lil Wayne and Black Kodak. Lil Wayne, in the run-up to the election, vocalizing his support for President Trump. Both of them were in trouble for gun-related charges. And then you might say that President Trump crossed partisan lines to issue a pardon to former Democratic Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick. He had been serving a 28-year federal prison sentence for extortion, racketeering, and bribery. But perhaps what a lot of Americans will be waking up to find out, this has been a big source of speculation for months, is who was not on that list. And that is President Trump, his friends, and even his attorney, Rudy Giuliani. There was a lot of speculation regarding if President Trump would preemptively try to pardon himself or his family members. He reportedly sought legal advice and was told to do so would invite more trouble because to do so would mean citing specific crimes.
And Natasha, the military vehicles behind you, I mean, they just sum up how very different this inauguration ceremony atmosphere is going to be.
Yes, the unprecedented presence of security. Never in the United States has there been this many, more than 25,000 National Guard, and that does not include Metro Police and other law enforcement agencies throughout the city. This is probably the 5th or 6th checkpoint we've been to. You see military vehicles and National Guard troops. There are fences and barricades. The National Mall is closed. The Washington Monument, very difficult to get around. Bridges from Virginia to D.C. have been blocked. Metro stations are closed, all in an effort to ensure that the city remains as locked down as is possible and to ensure that President-elect Joe Biden is safely sworn in a matter of hours.
And we'll be watching it when it happens. Thanks so much, Natasha Ronayne there.